Thank you. Happy May Day. Happy May Day. And thank you for joining in this celebration of May Day. Now when Sharon and Andre call, you gotta kind of show up. Because every time we call on the Baltimore Workers Assembly, you show up. Whether supporting the workers at the airport, the shuttle bus drivers, or supporting their efforts for some workers to gain a higher minimum wage, not the $15 that people are righteously due, but the 10-10 is a start. And that's the way that we have to view all of these activities, that we have to make a start. But it is time for people to stand up. I saw an email today that was saying that the income equality, the gap between what workers make and what CEOs make is at historic highs. There's something wrong with that in America. There's something wrong when you have supposedly intelligent people, leaders in the community, arguing about whether or not people should make $10.10 an hour, not let alone $15 an hour. Some people think that it's okay for folks to make $3.63 an hour if you're a tip worker. Folks need to know, elected officials need to know, people in the community need to know that workers are angry. Workers are angry. And it's time to stand up and say, yeah, we are mad. We are mad about this situation, and it's not getting any better. And it's efforts like yours today that will help win more allies to that struggle for greater equality in America and in Baltimore City. It's efforts like yours that will help bring that to pass. And thank you, and I just want to say continue doing the good work that you're doing. Thank you.
Doing the good work you're doing, brother. Thank you.
Of workers in McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken, and many of those women are single mothers. They're single mothers trying to live on a salary of $7.25, being exposed to harassment, being exposed to low wages and trying to find a way to give their children a decent life. I also wanted to mention briefly part of the reason women are on the low track is because of the mommy trap. Don't know if you've heard of it, but if you have children, most women are the primary caretakers of their children. Their child gets sick, who's going to stay home with the child? Their child needs shoes, who's going to provide for that child? So when we're talking about single mothers living on $7.25, we're talking about ruining the American family. And I wanted to mention that McDonald's is the #1 offender for sexual harassment claims, and the restaurant industry is the largest industry where these complaints are made.
Not for sale! Don't give our public post office away.
I'm going to speak this very briefly. I think George did an excellent job of laying it out there. They want to privatize all public sector jobs. The teachers, the police, the fire departments, your schools, you don't want to privatize everything, and the post office fits in right along with that. The rich can't be rich enough. They're out there for profit. Who's going to pay for this? We are, from our tax money. I don't want my tax money supporting somebody else to become a millionaire or a billionaire. We're here today because today is May 1st. It's International Memorial Day for union workers. Back in the 1800s, a number of people were killed by the police at a protest. They were out there protesting, or early unions protesting an 8-hour workday. Since then, a number of postal workers and public sector workers and union workers across the whole world have died today. Just recently, we've had deaths over in China, over in India, and factory workers there where they knew it was not safe, but management told them go in that building and work anyway. And the building collapsed and hundreds of workers died on today. So I want you to keep that in mind. I'm going to turn this over to the next speaker.
Tell you the difference between ages. Us baby boomers still reading from books. And the young lady before me, I don't even know what you call what she was reading from. What do you call that thing? Her phone. No, that's a phone. Well, it's an honor to be here. I'm Marvin Doc Cheatham. I happen to be a candidate to be a member of the House of Delegates for the 40th Legislative District as a Democrat. I'm running on a labor platform 1, a woman's platform 2, and a civil rights platform 3. Not in any particular order, but those are my 3 areas of concern. I sincerely believe that today we all are singing the same song, no justice, no peace. Today, without a doubt, we must demand $15. So I think the slogan should be, we must holler for $15. But I'll also say that I am not pleased that this Maryland General Assembly session did not see fit to approve 1010 this year. To me, it is an insult that we must wait to 2018 to get the minimum wage. I'm a strong supporter of the AFL-CIO, but I feel they made a big mistake in endorsing Frank Conaway Jr., Barbara Robinson, and Sean Terrant, because those are some of the folks that supported us not getting minimum wage until 2018. I think they made a mistake. On June 25th, I'm approved they made a mistake. I'm very happy to say that my first position paper was called Equal Pay for Equal Work. Yes. What that basically means is since 1963, President John F. Kennedy signed into law the fact that women must be paid the same amount as a male doing the same job. We are 50 years later, and here in the state of Maryland, women are still only making 87 cents for every dollar that a man makes. That happens to be one of my issues. I'm happy to say 2 weeks ago, or maybe it was a week ago, I had the pleasure of standing with our labor partners in front of Staples to say that the USPS is not for sale to Staples. We must begin to understand that many of the battles that we have, we must come together. Civil rights should not have to fight alone. Labor should not feel they should not join with civil rights. I'm happy to say I was endorsed by the Ministerial Alliance. We must bring faith into this fight as well. As I begin to close, I think it is deplorable that the United States Senate did not see fit to pass legislation to give us minimum wage throughout the nation. Yes. We are fortunate that our two United States senators are supportive, but we must begin to communicate to other states where their United States senators are not following the lead of our two United States senators.
Rallies that you have. Let me go on to now tell you a little bit about what's going on in our United States Postal Service. Back in October, the Postmaster General of the United States struck a closed-door deal with the Chief Executive Officer of Staples Office Supply Stores. They entered into a pilot program, and what basically is going on, they're putting retail window clerks jobs inside of Staples, and they're being staffed by Staples minimum wage employees. That presents several big problems, okay? First of all, the average postal worker that's doing that work now, when you walk into a post office, you're greeted by a postal worker wearing a uniform. You're dropping off your mail and it's being secured by the federal government. This new program, when you drop off a piece of mail at a Staples office supply, is not yet in the United States mail stream. So you're entrusting your mail, whatever may be in that package, to a minimum wage Staples employee. The Staples employees make on average about $8.50 an hour. They're very high turnover. You may see them there for a couple months and they'll be gone because they're looking for something better. So what this is basically an attempt by the United States Postal Service to take good paying, living wage jobs and transfer them into the private sector in exchange for minimum wage jobs. If that happens, brothers and sisters, the Postal Service that we've all known in our lifetime will no longer exist. The Postal Service has been around for 239 years. The goal of the Postal Service is to sustain its costs and to provide the American public a service. We're not there to make money. Once those jobs are transferred into the hands of private corporations, their allegiance is not to you, the consumer. Their allegiance is to the shareholders of that company. How can they operate at the lowest cost and make the most money? So it would be the Postal Service you know today, if this comes to fruition, will be the Postal Service your children and their children will be talking about in history books. It won't exist any longer.
I'm Ian Schlackman, and I am your candidate for Congress. I'm running to unseat the pro-corporate, pro-war, pro-spying, pro-NSA, 1% puppet Congressman Dutch Ruppersberger. May Day is a day of workers' rights and workers' power. Gandhi once said, poverty is the worst form of violence. Workers should not have to work for poverty wages. Workers should not have to work all week and still wonder how they're going to feed their children and pay their bills. It's ridiculous that CEOs in Maryland make 324 times more than the minimum wage workers. That's why we have to think big with a basic income guarantee. We need a basic income guaranteed. Everyone here in the U.S. gets a check to help them pay for their necessities as they see fit.